I am here to help you guys learn about Bali, help you be educated, help you learn the things that I didn't know and I wish I would have known before I invested into Bali. I love investing into Bali. I love the whole idea of having multiple homes around the world, and Bali being one of them. So I would love to have other people in this journey doing the same things and having multiple homes in Bali, around the world, if this is that really floats your boat. And this podcast is there to just help you navigate the Bali opportunity. What do you think about freehold versus leasehold? Because this is a lot of people don't still understand it, and we touched because we're on this topic, and I want to just finish it with this topic before moving on deeply to the green zone and yellow zone. So this, you being here so long now and also seeing everything, do you think that it's freehold is the thing that people should be going and after, or do you think there is a place for leaseholds for these investors?
I do think there is a space for leasehold, and myself I use leasehold, but I think also people need to be aware there is two other types of at least lease that you can do in addition to the Hakseba. And I just briefly mentioned that when we talk about acquiring a piece of freehold, you can have a HDB on into a company, or a hakpakke title as we would call it, as an individual, subject to having a kitas. But you can also do what we call an HDB on top of freehold. So it's a registered lease that gets stamped into the certificate, which prevents the owner from getting loans on it in addition to leasing it out to you or a company. And that is a thought through mechanism that also works a lot better tax wise. I don't really know what happened in the market. I do actually, but what happened was that I think a lot of consultants and a lot of notaries just wanted a quick fix and not too much complexities on selling properties on to foreigners without thinking this is going to impact a lot of things, zoning, taxes, and so on. Freehold, and I think the last aspect of, for me, a lease is a good thing in the sense that the property remains in the Balinese families, so it becomes a generational game. You just got to think through how a renewal is done, maybe after 30 years and so on. Freehold obviously then becomes an asset, and financial investors would like that because it's much higher level of security. Maybe you have a couple of financial issues in the world, another COVID, God forbid, but you never know, right? Then you have that security. So depending a bit on the area.
Is it really secure, the freehold? Because I've heard that it's again, after 50 years, if you haven't done X amount of investment, then it's not really, and then it's only X amount of years anyway. Could you just...
So by law, you are guaranteed 80 years.
80 years.
80, yeah.
Okay.
80. But it has, and this is an old agrarian law that Indonesia came up with when Indonesia was still, in constitutional way, still set in a very socialistically motivated thought, which, again, coming from Norway, I fully understand that mindset. But it has some triggers, like after 30 years, you have to then pay a small tax on land value to renew for the next 20,
Yes.
and so again at year 50 for the last 30. I guess after 80 years, nobody really knows because it hasn't been tested yet. Most legal advisors on high level would suggest that you get another 80 years. Maybe not, but to me, the best way to talk about a freehold is if I bought freehold from an Indonesian, I put it into a company, I was running a business for 20 years, then I sold on to a new company, you can actually then reset the clock. Or if I sell to an Indonesian individual, they can convert it, in most cases, back to freehold.
Yes.
We do see now also in the new capital that Indonesia is trying to build that they give you 160 years, 80 plus 80. So hopefully that creates some kind of presence.
As I understand, you just have to sell it on, but there is land taxes to be paid at certain points of it to make sure that the government is giving you this right of freehold, but you as a foreigner will have to pay certain taxes along that 80-year timeline. Thank you so much, Terje, for joining me. So Terje is the co-founder of Seven Stones. They can help you with all of your legal business planning before you do any kind of investment. I think it's, as you talk to him, he is probably the best in the market. It's been such a pleasure to really cover like real topics today with you. So I'm Melanie Amon. You will be seeing more podcasts from me talking to the thought leaders of Bali. My background is have been developing here for 3 years in Bali. Before that, I'm a chartered accountant in Australia. So I've got like both finance and property background, along with I owned a digital marketing agency for 7 years in between those two transitions. So bringing all of it together. So it's really a pleasure to be able to speak
Thank you for having me.
to
Really
you.
enjoyed it. Yeah.
Thank you so much.